206-414-8285. 206-414-8285. We're calling TBTL. Hey dummies. We're calling TBTL. Hey dummies. We're calling TBTL. Hey dummies. TBTL.
Now, you tell us a little about yourself.
The details of my life are quite inconsequential.
I like to wear bright socks, and I'm an avid Cleveland Browns fan.
And we've become great friends. I mean, close. We'll just sit in the front room, and we'll sit there. And he'll go to the front door, kind of knock on the door, and then sit down, then I'll sit, and then he stands, and he's out in the front. And then he'll come in, we just sit there. And he'll stand, and I'll sit, and then I stand, and you sit, and then we're both looking at each other, and we're just nodding, like a couple of nodders, right?
All right, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Thursday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
This is what happens when an inside joke gets into the water supply.
My name is Luke Burbank. I am your host.
The man or beast that I run from ain't been born, and its mama's already dead.
Coming to you today from Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City. Today, kind of cloudy city. I have a feeling it might burn off by afternoon. I'm here to do Wait, Don't Tell Me this week, the final week where our friend Bill Curtis will be the announcer. So it'll be a fun, interesting night of recording, I'm sure, with lots of nostalgia and special guests and things like that. But here we are in Chicago. We have, of course, the distinct honor of presenting you episode 4732 in a collector's series. I just realized I've kind of got a little road bell here. Let me do that again. It's episode 4732. Wait, why did that not go? Let's try it again. Episode 4732. Did my little sound effects box break? I am so glad that I got all of this out of my system before I was doing Wait, Don't Tell Me tonight. Anyway, it's episode 40. Thank you, magical sound drop fairy who lives in the sky and has not yet been identified on the program. We appreciate you wherever you may be. Anyway, here's what we're going to talk about on the program today.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business.
It's episode 4732 in a collector's series. You know those Cars for Kids ads, 1877 Cars for Kids?
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Well, you're not going to be hearing them in California in the near future because they have been banned for certain reasons. We'll talk about that. Speaking of kids and fantasy, the TBTL Little League team.
Jalapeno!
The TBTL Jalapenos, the Junior Sluggers, they're still playing. They're still playing meaningful baseball in mid-May. That was Coach Ben emailing me the update right now. We're going to bring that to you on the program. And also, it's a Thursday, a.k.a. Blur's Day, so we'll do some birthday messages. If you've noticed, we have different sound effects this week than some of the usual ones that we play. Of course, we always play Tom Shane saying, "Let the fun begin." But this week we're going with...
Now you have a friend in the diamond business.
And for our Blur's Day messages, we're playing Tim and Eric. That's because, of course, I forgot to bring my computer. And Andrew has most of the drops that I have in my computer, but not all of them, including the birthday drop that I usually play and the Tom Shane drop that I usually play. But we're muddling through. We're making it happen here on a Thursday. Speaking of my good pal, the longest-running Cobra of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships, not maybe best known for his good opinion having.
Every time you've offered an opinion, you've been wrong.
He is Andrew Walsh, and he is joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. I was running a little experiment, sort of. Well, that's not true. That's generous. I was trying to troll you but it's become an experiment because I sent you an email, I swear, 45 seconds ago. Now it's 47. Now it's 50 seconds ago, to see if I could make your computer make that bing sound. That
I did, and I said that. I said that was Coach Ben emailing me.
No, that was before I sent mine. I heard that, and it gave me the idea to start trolling you, and I was going to make your computer go crazy during your intro. So after that happened, I sent you an email with the subject line "bing," and I was hoping to hear it bing on the air. Have you received the bing, and why didn't it make a noise?
You know what I think I'm learning?
Oh, no.
I don't think the bing comes from me receiving an email on this new computer that I don't really know how to control the notification sounds on. I think it's when I get a text message.
Okay,
so I think it's unrelated.
It's a good thing I don't have your phone number.
Well, I've changed it recently. I changed it earlier this morning.
That would explain several
Actually, let's do. You know what?
actually.
Just for the sake of honestly to satisfy my curiosity, why don't you text me right now?
All right, could you give me your number? What is it again?
Yeah, it's 555. How are we still? I know this has come up on the show multiple times, but in this day and age where phone numbers are so sort of cheap, I guess you could say, with Google Voice and things like that, it isn't like the old days of Ma Bell when, movies famously and TV shows would put that fake phone number in. Nowadays, I'm guessing that we've long since left the range of the 555 trope, right? I mean, the move would be create a distinct number for your movie or TV show and then just have it be something that plays an outgoing message like, hey, like and subscribe on Netflix or wherever you're watching
that's really interesting. That's interesting because I thought you were going to say that. I would say that
I received your text and
I did not. I still didn't hear a
binged.
bing. I don't know what's going on. You received both the email and the text at this point, right?
Oh, I have you personally muted. That's what it is.
Oh, that's probably
You're the
what it is.
only person I was able to figure out how to
because I'm
mute
too positive on the sports text chain. I actually missed that game yesterday. It was a day game, and I there was a moment where I could have turned it on, but I was actually TCBing some TBTL stuff that we needed to do. I don't know if you ever TCB, TBTL.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, you know what? They may win, they may lose, but I'm finally in a groove on a project that I had sort of just, I hadn't been putting it off. It's not onerous, but it's just like one of those things where you're sitting down, you're getting work done, you're actually getting work done. Oh, was that my
Now,
bing?
was that?
What
that
was
would
that?
be a really bad system if, let's see here. What do I got coming in here? This is good.
What is it?
Well,
is it
I've got
OnlyFans? Here, I'm going to hit you up on OnlyFans. Tell me
Yeah,
if it
okay.
bings.
DM me on OnlyFans.
Okay,
Slide
let's
into
see
my
here.
feet pics.
Yes.
So here's the crazy thing. I'm looking at my computer, and I have your Bing email from now 4 minutes ago. Finally, Bing getting the promotion it deserves on this program.
Is that the noise?
Once again.
Okay, here, I just sent the OnlyFans. Oh, okay, so
yeah,
that's the sound
definitely.
you get there. Okay.
Yeah, that tells me I'm making more money. That's every time a direct deposit goes into my OnlyFans account. That's the sound I get. Okay, and then I have your text, your Bing text, which is 2 minutes ago. So in other words, that sound effect.
It is connected to the email or no?
But not in real time. You know what I mean? We're there's no way that I should be getting that little chime sound, that little whatever we're going to call it, 2 to 4 minutes after the message has landed in either my email or my text message function. So it's one of those two things, but it's clearly struggling. That's almost, I don't know, that seems like it's kind of pointless if it's giving you that kind of little message that late. I mean, that's forever in this digital world we live in.
Yeah, that seems like a lifetime. That is absolute lifetime. Were we talking about something before that Bing went off? I'm trying to think. Were we actually trying to make a point on something? Am I
Not
really
that I
out
remember,
of it today?
honestly.
I don't feel out of it. I didn't go to bed super late last night. Didn't wake up super late today. I don't know what's going on. But I feel like you and I were just talking about something. I felt like we were just starting to get some traction on something. And now I don't know what it was.
By the possibility of binging me.
Exactly.
Well, you did say that you did not watch the Mariners game.
Oh, yeah. No,
taking care of some
that's
business.
basically it. I was just sort of like, I could turn this on. It could be a disappointment. We could win. But also, I'm just getting stuff done. And it was a middle of the day game.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. And I made the right decision. I'm glad the Mariners won. I was looking for some post-game coverage to listen to this morning. I actually could only still find people complaining about the game before. But yeah, I think I made the right decision. But go Mariners. And now they have a day off. And now they play the Royals again, Luke, next game, tomorrow, I guess.
I had a little bit of a similar experience, except I was taking care of no business. I was sitting in the middle seat on an American Airlines flight going from Los Angeles to Chicago. I am not a high status American Airlines person. I'm a medium status with them because some amount of my Alaska stuff carries over. They're part of the same, I believe it's called One World Alliance. I think Illuminati Alliance was taken.
Exactly.
So they had to go with One World.
Exactly. Like the One World Alliance is freaking everybody's uncle out. Everybody's Facebook uncle is freaking out about that.
Well, Andrew, you just got to look at the money.
Well, sure,
okay?
follow it.
If you follow it, and then if you literally look at the $100 bill, you will see a picture of the CEO of Alaska Airlines.
I want you to take a dollar bill out of your wallet. Look at the eyeball in the middle of the pyramid. Just are you staring at it? I need you to keep on staring at it.
Hold on.
Now say the words.
It's a waterfall. Now it turns into a waterfall. Something Andrew could never see at the mall as a kid.
Oh, that was a magic eye joke. I didn't.
That was a magic eye joke.
It was an Illuminati joke that I didn't get.
Well, I tried to kind of blend the two, and I don't think very successfully. Maybe send me anher email. We'll see when it dings. That seems to be the best content we have today. No, I was trying to decide for me what would be the best of a couple of not particularly great options yesterday in terms of my flight, which was I could be at the very, very back of the airplane in the way back, but in an aisle seat, but in the way, way back where, things are. Let me just be honest with you, Andrew. It's been years since I've been at the way back of the plane. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, or I could be in the very front row of coach, as I often call that the first class of coach, but I would be in a middle seat. And for some reason, I ultimately opted for middle seat front of coach. I think I made the wrong decision. It wasn't terrible.
Can I ask you a question about that seat in the back? And you might have said this, but it was window, and was there
aisle.
It was aisle, and was there an empty seat in the middle?
No. No. That would have been a no-brainer.
Yeah. Anything
no-brainer.
Like back of the plane, but an empty seat between the two of you, not me.
That was, for some reason, next door, which I don't even remember ever signing up for.
Where do you? Yeah, I was going to say the Chicago one, the L.A. one, the one where you live,
Alabama Hill one. It's the Burbank Springs neighborhood, and I don't think let me put it this way. I don't remember ever signing up for Nextdoor. I certainly didn't sign up recently, but guess what? In the last 2 months, I get so many updates about what is going on allegedly in the old neighborhood of Bellingham, Washington, where I used to live.
Oh, yeah.
That's Alabama Hill, Burbank Springs Broadcast Center. And I have a feeling that they changed their permissions. Something changed. I'm not a big Nextdoor guy anyway. I'm not probably quite as against it as you are, but I'm also not. It's not something I seek out in the world. And I promise you, I did not go, hey, could you give me more updates about my old house that I don't own anymore?
Yeah,
could you make me cry 2 times a week?
I got an email. Cry because you missed the house?
The house, the equity, the swimming pool, the dog.
It wasn't the house. It was the equity.
The call is coming from inside the equity.
I think you're right, though, because I have a Nextdoor account. I think I signed, let's see here. It must have been when I moved into, I don't know if it's associated with this address or another one, but I know I created it when we lost, was it Bingo or Banana? Some cat.
You didn't
got
lose
out.
Bingo. You didn't lose Bingo.
Bingo has never been lost, right? He never has
gone to the
out.
yard once, but I believe returned quickly, if I'm remembering.
Yeah, I think that. No, I don't even think he did. I think what happened was we thought he was, and he ended up being under the sink.
Okay.
But I do think that maybe I signed up for it in that panicky moment or something, because I feel like the only time I sign up for that thing is when I'm missing a pet. I know I did.
Well, it could have been in Wallingford when I think you had 2 missing cats, right?
Yes, but the thing is, did it follow me around? Maybe that's what it did. Maybe it followed me around and asked me to update at some point, and I did it for whatever reason. Even though I honestly don't, I'm not lying, I don't really go on it much. But in the past month, that is associated with an email address that I only use for sort of kind of spammy stuff, and I don't really use it for much in my personal life. And so every now and then I'll creak that door open like DFTB style, and I'll see what's in there, and it's just I got put on this list, or I bought pants from some company that uses a V instead of a U, and now I'm getting tons of emails from them. And you just sort of see how permissions change, because I recently had to finally tell Nextdoor to go piss off, because I had hundreds of those too. And you're right, I think they changed something,
because I'm sure what happened was their growth was not keeping up with Wall Street expectations or something in terms of, how the engagement they were getting. And so I'm sure that they went in and, much like gerrymandering, instead of just doing better and getting more people, they went into redrew the district lines of who they're emailing, and all of a sudden they put me on the list of people who are now engaged with their content, even though I never asked them to.
Or
and
they
by the
changed what the engagement was. Like what they do is they have you, when you get those sometimes, they'll say, click here to unsubscribe. And if you're not really careful, you're just unsubscribing for one type of email that they send, like neighborhood updates versus neighborhood alerts or something like that. And so what they can do is create a new category that you haven't actively opted out of.
Yes, they did something exactly along those lines, because in the last like 2 months, all of a sudden, multiple times a day, I'm getting updates about my old neighborhood. And what I will say is, it is as unhinged as you always said it was. And there's something about not living in the area that just really lays bare kind of how it is. I think really sort of one of the worst corners of the internet now, because it's mostly people complaining about other people's driving, as far as I can tell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not. I know that you're the thing you're down on is when it's used as a way to sort of surveil people who, quote unquote, don't look like they belong here, whatever that exactly means.
I see a lot of
this seems to more be people just mad about people's driving habits.
You mean like driving too fast down their residential street?
I don't even click on the stuff because I don't want to. I don't want to praise the machine, but I will just see a little preview of what people are posting about. And again, it seems like it's often people complaining about how someone was driving, or like sometimes it'll be like, lost dog or something, which obviously your heart goes out to them. But it almost seems to me like for people that think Facebook is too nuanced and too fact-based and too like, it makes Facebook look like blue sky. You know what I mean? It's like the people that want to be even more fearful, more confused, and more whatever it is I associate with a lot of Facebook posts, which is why I'm not really on Facebook. For people who felt like that they weren't getting enough of that on Facebook, let me tell you about Nextdoor.
Exactly.
So that's who was dinging me, Andrew.
Oh, that's who was dinging you. But wait, we're on the airplane still, right?
Yes, we're on the airplane,
we're on
and
the
I've
airplane.
chosen middle seat.
Middle seat up front, because in the back it would have been aisle, but you would have had two passengers in that row with you.
Two passengers in the row, and also like, potentially some amount of getting up and letting people through, which I don't really mind per se, but like just kind of felt like I was just going around and around and around with this. Like, is it better to have, I think it was Shakespeare who said, is it better to have satteth in the fronteth row of coach, whereth there is allegedly more leggeth room, or to suffer the slings and arrows of row 31, but to be upon the aisle.
How did you memorize that? I mean, I had that memorized at some point in like high school. But you remember that. I am impressed.
I do word for word.
Wow.
And so the I guess you could say the error in my calculation was this was not an Alaska Airlines aeroplane. So I am at this point, sadly, you might say, very familiar with the layout, the footprint, what happens on one of those Alaska Boeing. They're all the same kind of airplane, but each airline might configure their things slightly differently. And so usually if you're in the front row of coach on an Alaska flight, you've got a good amount of leg room, and it's pretty nice. I mean, that's what I'm always sort of hoping for if I'm not going to maybe be in first class. That was not the deal on the American Airlines flight. They have a real hard barrier kind of going between first class and us, the hoi polloi in coach. So it's a little more permeable on Alaska, which is its own kind of a bummer, because what it really means is that like I'm a little kid in a Christmas tale from the 1920s with my nose pressed up against the glass, fogging up the window of the store, looking at the presents I'll never be able to get. Like I'm sitting there in coach, but I'm watching them come and take very good care of all the people that are one row ahead of me in the back of first class, and bringing them out their food and their drinks, and
like
their sumptuous
smelling
living.
Their peanuts, like your schnoz is like following.
Can I get a free? Hey, buddy? Can you spare a sniff?
Sure. Can I smell your peanuts? Can I smell your
peanut breath real quick? So in this case, it wasn't that. It's like a major. There's a pretty serious barrier, and the problem was because I was in the middle seat, I didn't really have the ability to extend my feet, because there's some kind of crazy hydraulics mechanism underneath the first class seats for all that comfort that they have up there, and so it obstructed my ability to actually. I couldn't really like stretch my legs out fully, which was the reason I had gone up to first class, or excuse me, up to the front of coach. And so I was ruining my decision. And then the other reason I was ruining my decision was because The person to the left of me appeared to maybe he was an attorney or something, because I noticed that he was doing a lot of like looking up legal briefs and going into California Superior Court, and honestly doing a lot of stuff on the computer I don't think I was supposed to see.
Yeah.
But I was. Listen, you can't stop me from looking's free. Touching will cost you. So I was like checking out. There was some kind of I couldn't tell if it was civil or criminal, but I think his law firm was representing a liquor store in San Bernardino. Wow. Had some stuff. I mean, by the way, I'm looking at publicly available court documents just so people know, just so our many lawyers named Danny
listen,
don't
I will say,
mad.
I still think it's on that person, not you. I mean, I guess it's on you saying it publicly here, but like, whatever. This person needs one of those screens on their laptop that makes it so you can't see it from the side.
Again, I don't think he was doing anything sensitive in his defense. Also, lawyers can look like anything today, Andrew. I'm talking about anything. This guy, I get to the row. First of all, I was somehow very late to board the flight, which was, I could just go for hours and hours about this. But there is this, I've taken this American Airlines flight a handful of times now because I've been in Los Angeles but needed to come to Chicago. And that's just the most efficient way to do it. And it is in this part of LAX that is crazy. Like you get to the American Airlines terminal, you check in, and then you are at the beginning of what is probably a 1.5 mile walk. Oh my God. Up escalators, down escalators, tunnels, around and around you go. I mean, it is a very, very far distance to the point where when I got to the after you and John and I ended our kind of brief business boys meeting and I ran through the airport, I still was like, they were boarding group, like, actually it was really funny. They were boarding group 8 at that point, right? Which is pretty much everybody. Like, I mean, how many more groups are there? So I jump in and I was, I think, technically in group 2 because I have some status, but not a lot there. The flight, the woman, the person working the gate stopped a woman who was with group 9 who was trying to board. And at that point I thought, just
my God,
bring me your tired, your huddled masses yearning to be free. Like, let the group 9
the 8s don't
lady.
even care. The 8s don't even care.
The 8s don't care. I mean, I was effectively an 8. I was a California 9.
No, you got to stay away from
Chicago
the
6.
Stay away from the 7s, though. They're scary because 7, 8, 9.
That's right. That's what I've heard. I was just like, I was like, I mean, and by the way, this person was in front of me. So if you think about it, I had the most to gain from her being kicked out of the boarding group because it was technically delaying me by one person. But like, it's that point where the entire jetway is just a standstill. Like, let everybody in. Who cares? Like, so all that is to say, when I finally boarded and I'm getting up to the thing, the two people, the woman who was in the window seat and the guy who was in the aisle seat had both already taken their seats here in the front row of coach. And the guy is like, he's just kind of in sweats and a t-shirt, and he kind of has on these, he was kind of a hip dude. He sort of had maybe like a bit of he had a chain, you know, he was wearing, and he had some of those. I have basically decided that I am done ever buying a new style of sunglasses that isn't a Ray-Ban Wayfarer. I've just locked into what my thing is. But he had like cool sunglasses on, which are basically sunglasses that used to be popular in the 90s, I think. You know what I'm talking about? You know how just like...
Well, do I know about this kind of thing that people do, or do I know about these particular kind of sunglasses?
I guess I just meant more generally that the cool sunglasses...
It wasn't me.
This has been another driving incident on Alabama Hill.
No,
okay,
you got to tell us.
it down.
If you're not going to turn it off, you got to actually tell us what it is. What was that?
Okay, we've narrowed it down. It's email based, Andrew.
Okay.
It's email based. Okay,
what was it? Yeah,
we know that much. It was an email about. It's from one of the producers of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and it has to do with my bluff the listener story, and that's all I'm going to say.
What was that?
Because oh God, I'm getting rich over here. That's my OnlyFans. It's an email from a Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me producer, a conversation around the Bluff the Listener game. And that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to ruin anything on Saturday. Some people can be a bit annoyed with me when I give away too much information about the game.
Yes, now we know there's going to be a Bluff the Listener. Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, precisely. And you could win any of our voices on your voicemail line.
Oh, how's that going? Have you gotten more requests?
I haven't in a long time. I might have done like in 20 years of doing that show, I might have done 2 of them or something.
I remember it was sort of a thing with you for a little bit. Your feeling was a little bit hurt, but then a 10, I think, won and had you do it, right? Yeah.
My feelings weren't. I think what it was a confirmation of where I am on the food chain there, which is fine, or not on the food chain, but as what I occupy in the minds of the listeners, or where my status is with them, which is, of course, the status is you want Paula Poundstone, you want a Mo Rocca, you want a Bill Curtis, you'll take a Peter Sagal. If it's the only thing left, you might accept a Luke Burbank, but no one's going into that store hoping they have tons of Luke Burbank in stock. They've moved through the aisle, everything else is gone, and they're like, all right, okay, you know what, this is fine. I'll take a Luke Burbank.
To quote a friend of ours, they're sifting around that ashtray outside of Teddy's, just looking for.
Yes.
Wow. They're like, well, I can still smoke a little bit of this Luke Burbank, I guess.
Precisely. Anyway, all that is to say, when I saw this fellow, who I think turned out to be a lawyer, he looked so casual and also was pretty sweaty. I think he also had to jog to get to. This is the main problem with how this American Airlines terminal is set up. Everyone is sweaty on the plane because nobody realized how far it was going to be. Nobody realized they were doing half of a 5K to get to the actual gate. And so everyone is a little like, a little sweaty, a little disoriented. Nobody's getting to that gate thinking that went how I expected. So anyway, this guy's kind of sitting there. He looks also like he might have had a little bit of a night the night before. Just kind of seemed, just slightly out of sorts. Again, he kind of had his cool guy sunglasses like up on his head, had his chain going, and then he gets up and lets me through, and I'm just kind of like, I wonder what this is going to be like, because, again, I'm not usually in the middle. The woman on the window was very poised. She looked a lot like Laura Dern.
Oh, okay,
She wasn't Laura Dern. I would have noticed that.
But sitting up straight, though, right? Because Laura Dern sits up straight.
Tall, thin, great posture.
Yep.
And, like, powerful Laura Dern vibes. In fact, she said, before the plane took off, she said, oh, my gosh, I'm just going to go to the bathroom before this flight because then I don't have to deal with it. I said, sure. And I started to get up. She goes, no, don't, just kind of scooch back. And she was so Laura Dern that she just sashayed her way out of the row by nimbly stepping over my legs and getting up and out without even needing me to move. So.
You know what I thought you were going to say? I thought she was going to say, I need to go to the bathroom. And then you said, I'll get up for you. And then she said, no, I'll just take care of it here. And then just let loose. I thought
that's more Bruce Dern vibes in the movie Nebraska.
Oh my God! In the movie Everything, every movie in the movie The Burbs. I love that. Yes.
So anyway, I'm sitting down, and I don't have much more of a story about this flight other than everybody was pretty chill. I was a little surprised that the guy sitting next to me turned out to, I believe, be an attorney. I don't know why. I guess I assume attorneys will be dressed in business casual or business formal at all times. I also think, I'm pretty sure, and this actually makes me like this guy. This makes me want to retain his services. I believe his wife or girlfriend was in first class.
Oh, okay.
And because when we got off the plane, he was looking up into first class and kind of smiling and laughing and like he was having a conversation with someone. I thought, well, this is weird because we've had no interaction with the fancy people. And then as we got off the plane, he was with a woman, and there was like a very cute like toy poodle that she had clearly brought on the flight. And then I saw them waiting at the baggage carousel, and I never saw this woman or this dog. They were not behind us on the flight. And so what I think happened was they had one first class seat between the two of them. And she took that first class seat, and he sat in coach and did his lawman stuff.
No,
and by the way, that's my new
I don't
thing.
like this narrative. By the way, I like the narrative that he is the smoothest pickup artist you have ever seen, and you witnessed something amazing. That is a way better story. He is a hella flirt, and he started making eyes at the lady with the poodle on the plane, and then they were together by the time they got to the baggage pickup.
That would be an incredibly suave move. It is. The only reason I think it would be hard is because, like I said, they had a real serious barrier between us and those folks up there. Otherwise, and also this guy never got up. I was wondering, it was a sort of unspoken battle between me and him. Who was going to have the more iron bladder? And I just took it as like, well, if he's not going to get up and use the bathroom, I'm not going to get up and use the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, middle seat. That's the whole thing.
Middle seat.
Yeah. So
I
you're
was
sort
like,
of waiting. If he gets up, then I'll take advantage of that moment.
Yes, but if not, and I actually didn't have to go particularly bad, so it was all right. But yeah, I like that story. I like the idea that he complimented her on the poodle. They sort of had an unspoken attraction, and then by the time we got to the baggage claim, they were
sharing a life together,
betrothed.
They're married now. I love this.
They
for
actually
them.
Yeah, they found a chaplain at O'Hare Airport.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's one wandering around at most times, and they managed to do that. So yeah. Anyway, that was the flight out here. But what I was also the point of that whole dang story was I had a very come see come saw relationship with that Mariners game, which was we were leading by a little bit, but then we weren't playing so well, and I was texting on the chain. I'm agreeing with you, by the way, what you've been saying for a while, including last season, that our guy Dan Wilson, sweet guy though he may be, one-time Minnesota Gopher, may not have the greatest managing mind of all of the baseball managers, and I was feeling that way yesterday.
Was it when he walked out onto the field for a second mound visit, and the ump said to tell him that's not the rule, you're not allowed to go out there a second time, and so he couldn't switch out the pitcher in the middle of a game?
I didn't know that happened, but
you did? Oh, you weren't
so
locked in on that game.
unsurprised.
No, that's why the game a couple of days ago, that quote-unquote piggyback game, it's just like, it is the talk of the time. Like, literally.
No, I've been seeing.
It was with all, I will say this with all respect, it was like when Kurt Cobain died and I was just glued to any kind of media possible for updates for like 48 hours. That's what it's been like for me and what happened on the field on Tuesday. It was incredible as far as mismanagement was concerned, and that was just on the pitching side. Like, there's what happened on the offense that's a little bit less on Dan, although this platoon thing is also just batshit crazy. But anyway, at one point it finally it was just like the world is calling for his head, sort of, except people still love him as a person, but like there's no ambiguity about it now. There's no and it really, if there was any question about it, the fact that he went to pull a pitcher and the umpire was like in the middle of the game said, no, you can't do that, you just had a mound visit, like, do you not know? And so he had to like humbly walk back to the dugout. The manager of the baseball team, the man who is managing the baseball team, doesn't know the rules of baseball. It was rough.
I definitely am. Yeah, as I was texting yesterday from the middle seat, I'm coming around to this larger conversation, or this opinion that Dan Wilson is kind of not. He's just not really probably up to the job right now. Maybe he will be someday, but last year was such a magical season in a lot of ways that I think it kind of covered over some of his kind of inabilities, if you will. But this is my point in all this. I also felt like I needed to do some work on my computer because I was in between two people who were both doing work on their computers, Andrew, and I didn't want to just seem like a lightweight, like an intellectual lightweight who just scrolls TikTok and keeps rechecking the Mariners feed.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this is where I live. It's called inside my head. It's not a good place. I wanted to just scroll TikTok and check the Mariners and text salty things to the criminals, but I thought I better, break out my weird yellow laptop and kind of do some stuff that seemed...
Right.
That was the other thing.
I love this. Oh, yes. Wait, that is such a dazzling detail. Yeah. So not only are you in your head, you're like, I'm not going to watch a baseball game up here because I want these people to think I'm serious, but because you had forgotten your real laptop at home and you've kind of purchased and are hoping to return this temporary laptop that only came in a silly green color. I love the fact that you're like, I am going to be a serious person now. And then you pull out like your toy Velcro wallet and you set it down.
Dora the Explorer iPad.
I'm doing, and you said out loud, I'm doing my work too.
Yes.
I love this for you.
I'm working like Daddy does.
This is the
I had a leapfrog that I pulled out and started pecking away on. It was very embarrassing. So anyway,
I just realized I have been screaming. I'm looking at my levels now. My apologies. I don't know if this is salvageable. My levels have been so much hotter than yours, I think, this whole time. And then I was just screaming into the microphone. Sorry, everybody. I hope this is better for you.
All right. I thought that was just maybe what I was hearing down the line.
Was it actually distorting on you? I'm sorry
only when
about that.
But Andrew, a small price to pay for the fact that I genuinely delighted you.
Yes,
I'll take it.
Your situation did.
Oh, okay, fine. Hey, speaking of baseball,
I know. Please tell me you don't have the music, right? Oh, I was hoping
I don't have
you did.
my music.
Good, because I have better Junior Sluggers music, and this is the music that the kids will show up for.
Andrew, if you knew how many of the Junior Sluggers have handlebar mustaches and are nicknamed Lefty you would know just how appropriate this music is. Many of the junior sluggers ride a penny farthing bicycle
I love
directly to the field.
They're wearing leather helmets for some reason, and it's not even the right sport.
Strange. This is an update from Coach Ben on our Little League team that we sponsor, the TBTL Jalapenos. Coach Ben says, sorry, this is a long one. Since my last update, the Jalapenos, your TBTL Junior Sluggers, have played 3 games, 2 of which were among the best games we've played all year. On Monday, May 11th, we had a rematch against the Parkside Pickles, a scrappy squad we handled easily in our first meeting. I have a soft spot for the Pickles, as their roster includes many players I have coached in years past.
Okay.
Longtime TBTL listeners may recognize the names of Andreas and Baxter from previous seasons. I also coached the Pickles Taj, Dean, and Colton in fall baseball, a short season that is sadly not sponsored by TBTL and therefore receives no recap emails for your enjoyment. I see Coach Ben is trying to upsell us
I see this.
on the fall league. There he is.
There he is.
Checking in on if we want to sponsor the fall team. Okay, now that, by the way, was an email from Meta offering me $95 off on AI glasses.
Oh, God.
Excellent stuff.
How do you feel about, I was thinking about you, and I didn't want to bring it up because I know you can be a little sensitive about some of these things, but did you notice that everybody is now just calling those Meta glasses that you have creep glasses, and how do you feel about that? Did you not pick up on this?
I didn't. I haven't heard that, but I'm not surprised. I think they are. I don't wear them very often. I certainly don't wear them in public, but I do think it's reasonable to call them creep glasses, honestly. Although they do have they do have a white light that shines if you're videotaping. And then also, I guess if you cover that white light, then the videotape doesn't work. Somebody was telling us.
I think it's really key. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
For that precise reason, I think.
Good on them, I guess, for putting that in there. And I will point out, too, that, there is a big difference. If you want those at home because you're using them to film your videos that you're posting online, and that's the best way to do it. That's a much different thing than wearing them out into public. Because I have been hearing about some, and again, I don't have context for how widespread it is, but, just gross guys, not going full Porkies on it, but I don't know, wearing them at the gym or whatever and ogling.
Again, I do think, and this is what people should keep an eye out for, that if there's, at least the ones that I have, if you're ever videotaping with them, or whatever it's called now, there is this bright white light that shines out from the glasses, I think by design. And again, what I think somebody might have even told this in the comment section or whatever, but if you try to cover that up in some way, I've been told that it will not let the glasses record or something. I'm not trying to praise the machines, but I'm just saying.
I'm very glad. I'm legit glad to hear that.
I'm saying Bolo, if you're out in the world, be on the lookout. If someone's wearing basically Ray-Ban black frame glasses and there's a bright light shining from them, they recording. So just be on the lookout.
Should be Bolo.
Yeah. Here we go with the rest of Coach Ben's message. Alas, the bonds of friendship only go so far. Once on the field, the Jalapenos went to work, putting together a dominant performance on nearly every front. Zaya got the start and turned in his best game of the season. He gave up a Little League home run in the first, due more to fielding miscues than bad pitching or hard contact. Otherwise, though, kept the Pickles stymied. He stayed over the plate, struck out 7, and introduced weak contact. Notably, Zaya got sharper and more efficient as the game went on, delivering 3 overpowering innings. Man, 7 strikeouts. That's pretty good for Little League.
That's a lot, yeah.
Furious George numbers. On offense, we were firing on every cylinder. Crosby led the way with 4 hits, with Atlas, Zaya, Amos Knox, and Nico all collecting at least 1 hit apiece. When we weren't hitting, we were drawing walks, led by Ollie, Zaya, and Victor, who each collected 3 free passes on the day. Those hits and walks turned into runs. We plated 5 in the first inning, scored at least 1 run in every inning after that. The result was a game that was quickly secured and never really in doubt. By the 5th inning, we'd built a large enough lead that I could put in some inexperienced pitchers for some low-pressure mop-up duty.
Cool.
Final score, Jalapenos 14, Pickles 11.
Okay, high scoring on both sides. Good.
Yeah, 14-11. Hustle pins went to Zaya, Amos, and Ollie. This game was pretty much my definition of a perfect game. Every Jalapeno player found success at some level, either on defense, at the plate, or on the mound. And given the pitching change in the final inning, I think the same can be said for the Pickles squad, too. This is what Parkside Little League is about, Andrew.
I like this.
For years, you've been saying this is not what it's about. I'm telling you, this is what it's about. Giving kids the opportunity to play baseball and the tools to find success and fun in the sport. If our season had ended that evening, I would have been very happy, but there was more to come. Here's a tightened up version. 3 days later, we took on the Hollywood Rose City Flying Chicken Nuggets. There we go.
Wow.
Now that's back to a team that was named by children.
That's right.
The real processed meat mouthful of a name. The Rose City Flying Chicken Nuggets. All games count towards your record, but interleague battles feel more important. League pride and more than a little ego are on the line. And to be blunt, I'm tired of losing to our crosstown rivals. Luke Andrew, I've been awakened. That was like Luke ... Andrew. It's not that I've changed my middle name to Andrew, and Coach Ben is calling me Luke Andrew.
I thought he was just combining our names like Benifer. But uncreatively.
Ooh. Yeah, do we have
just Luke Andrew?
Why don't we get a Benifer? Why don't we get a Landrew?
Landrew works, but it really shortens your name. You get one letter.
I don't mind, but I get
my full name.
No, it's L' Andrew. It's Andrew.
Oh, I like that. Louis Andrew. I love his books.
For the first time in my 3 years of sending in these reports, I can finally say that one of my teams has beaten a squad from the Hollywood Rose City. Even as I write this, it seems impossible, both that it finally happened and that it somehow had never happened before. Everyone on the team contributed to this victory, but one jalapeno deserves special recognition, and that jalapeno is Crosby. Crosby's been one of our most productive players all season, but on Thursday, he took it to an entirely new level. He got the start at pitcher, and from his very first throw, completely overwhelmed the Nugget hitters. His pitches were on target and fast. You could hear the crack every time the ball hit the catcher's mitt. Most amazingly, Crosby was efficient. Little League has strict rules governing maximum pitch counts, and Crosby sailed well under those limits, hurling 5 complete innings in fewer than 70 pitches. You could see the Nugget players deflate as he kept trotting back out to the mound, inning after inning. Crosby's stat line for the day, 13 strikeouts.
Whoa!
1 walk. Andrew, 13 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's incredible. My memory of Little League Baseball was heavy on the walks. Even good pitchers, it's just, control can be tough at this age. 13 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's incredible.
It is.
Simply put, it was one of the most dominant pitching performances I've seen in Little League. The Jalapenos offense did its job to support Crosby's gem. After a slow start, we plated 1 run in the second, 2 in the third, and then in the fourth, we exploded for 5 runs, fueled by walks from Zaya, Ollie, Atlas, Tommy, followed by a string of hits from Nemo, Armani, Fox, and Amos. In the 6th inning, Ollie came in to close the game. After yielding a few runs, the Jalapenos defense locked down and put away the Nuggets. Final score, Jalapenos 9, Flying Chicken Nuggets 3. Hustle pins to Crosby, Fox, and Nemo. Which brings us to the final game of the Jalapenos regular season, Andrew. A Saturday morning battle against the Hollywood Rose City Titans.
Now, if you don't mind me interrupting, I'm maybe putting you on the spot here, but do you have a sense, because I hate to say it, but I've lost track of where we are? Before we hear about the final game, I would like to know what the stakes are. Do we know what the record is going into this final game?
I can't tell you off the top of my head, and I'm reading this off my phone.
Okay.
So I'm a bit in the dark on it.
We might be at 500.
I think we're close to 500.
Those were
I want to
2
say
wins in a row, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
if we
thinking
go
it might be 500.
It feels like 500 to me as well,
Okay.
or very close.
Okay.
This was something of a sad denouement after the 2 previous matchups. It was our only road game of the season, and the other 2 scheduled away games were rained out. And admittedly, the Jalapenos didn't bring their A game to the field. The result was a lackluster performance and a loss. Titans 10, Jalapenos 3. Rather than dwell on the L, I'm going to share some bright spots from the game. Zaya had another solid day on the mound, striking out 6 over 3 innings. I mean, honestly, 10 runs is an amount of runs. I was going to say, we didn't give up so many runs, but they got to 10. Zaya also made a great unassisted double play, caught a fly ball, and then tagged the runner out while playing first base, a position he claims to hate. Coach Ben really helping these kids and their growing edge, putting them at positions that they are on the record as hating.
Putting them in the best position to lose.
That's right. Victor had his best hit of the season off of one of the better pitchers we've seen this year. Uh-oh. Who's checking in? Is it Is it one of the CBS producers talking about an update to our story about Miami that is airing this week? It is, Andrew. I know that's exactly what you were going to guess. Miami meat tents. It's about dingling slings. It's about grape smugglers.
That might have been covered.
Fox continued his streak of excellent work at second base, making several solid plays and recording an out on a pop-up. As we mentioned, Victor had a great hit. Nico collected 3 hits on the day, made a couple of nice plays in the field. As I predicted earlier in the spring, he has matured into a solid baseball player. Amos was Amos, bringing his usual energy, enthusiasm, and sportsmanship all game long. Tommy showed up with a 3D printed T-bone chain, which was very popular with the players. And spectators were like, Tommy really leaning into the nickname of T-bone.
That's great.
And also a working understanding of 3D printing, which I don't have.
No, that is something for the younger generations. Everybody I know who well, not everybody. I guess I do know some people who are older than me too who are messing around with that stuff. But it does seem like it's like my what would he be? My step nephew or something. He was into 3D printing when he was like 12 or something like that. He grew up with it.
Yes, digital natives. When I shared with the team that our season record was 6 wins and 7 losses, I got to do the 6-7 thing. There was a lot of eye rolling.
Yes. There is over here, too, if you're keeping records.
Everybody got a W, even not on the field, but off the field when Coach Ben got to make his 6-7 joke, which I'm sure the youngsters really enjoyed. Hustle pins awarded to Zaya, Victor, and Nico. We're now entering the Tournament of Champions, Andrew, a multi-league playoff for regional bragging rights. This is a double elimination tournament. Oh, nice. I wonder if I'm going to get to go to a game then. Double elimination.
Okay.
If they play through this weekend, if they play until Sunday,
you could go on
or
Sunday.
late enough on Saturday, I could land. We're flying back on Saturday. By the way, Becca is on her way here to the hotel. She's sitting on the airplane right now, landed and taxiing, and we're here for a few days for Wait, and a special party honoring Bill Curtis tomorrow night, and then flying home on Saturday. I'm feeling like I might be able to actually catch a Jalapenos game after all, which would be amazing.
Nice.
It's a double elimination tournament. We have at least 2 more games to play. Our next battle is with the Wilshire Riverside Knights coming up on Thursday. That's today, Andrew.
Oh, the Knights. That sounds intimidating.
Yeah, and also Wilshire Riverside. That sounds bougie.
Mm-hmm. It does.
If you're by a river, it's pretty as I know, living above a river, it's bougie.
They have the best phlebotomists there. Oh, I saw my phlebotomist at the grocery store again yesterday, but not in his scrubs. It was the first time I saw him in his just street clothes. It was weird. It was like seeing your teacher on her day off.
And after you'd mentioned to the phlebotomist, hey, I see you at the grocery store, and no response.
Literally no response as he's putting needles in my arms. He's not a very social man.
In no way did that change his vibe. It did not cause him to try to be more gentle with your veins.
No.
He just grunted. What is going on with your schedule with this phlebotomist?
Well, I will say I'm at the grocery store a lot. I feel like I've been at the grocery
so
store
is he,
almost
apparently.
every day this week, and so it's like gears, spinning. Eventually, they're going to match up. I did some last-minute grilling yesterday. I needed to go to the grocery store because there was something that I felt like I couldn't live without, and it was hand soap. Maybe not completely unrelated to all of the pulling of things out of my dog's mouth after walks or whatever, but I've been going through hand soap too quickly. Usually get it delivered from the company Grove, but I didn't have a full enough order to place. This is all really interesting, which is why I'm telling you this. And so after a busy day of taking Lucy to the vet and then picking up Genevieve from a work function and finally getting home and having a meeting with the contractor, I said I need to go to the store now to get everything on the list, including that hand soap, because I spent half the day washing my hands with dish soap, a move that I do not like to do. So I went to the grocery store. Yes?
There's not enough.
Did you do that on
There's
purpose?
not enough dish soap to get clean after what you did was fish the used condom out of your dog's mouth.
I'll never be clean. I'll
with
never be clean again.
There will never be enough hand soap, hand sanitizer, dish soap, you name it.
Exactly.
To ever get that out of your mouth. I'm not trying to laugh. It's not funny.
It was gross. But I've gotten some story. Apparently, our business boy John Sklaroff had to do that one time on a walk with Modi, I believe. I've heard from some other people. Actually, Well, I'll tell you another story that a listener sent in later, but we should probably, we're not done with Coach Ben yet, are we?
Well, he just says he's feeling spicy about the matchup in a good way. Coach Ben out. So
looking forward to that. I would like to know what the regular season record was.
It was 6-7, remember?
Oh, he got to do the 6-7 thing. Oh, that was that. Right, sorry. I was so focused on rolling my eyes that I didn't listen to the actual content, so that's on me. You can now roll your eyes back on me. So we're going into the playoffs with a losing record, which has, that's historic right there, I think.
I mean, but think about this: 6 wins.
Yeah.
How many wins
absolutely.
did we have last season? 2 wins.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a major.
I didn't
major
mean. I'm sorry.
improvement.
I didn't mean that in a negging way. I meant it more in that's a significant thing to go into the postseason.
And by the way, Coach Ben says he's feeling spicy. First of all, we beat a Hollywood Rose City team, which we've never done before. I feel like this is a team that is on the rise, and I'm excited that we bought low. I'm glad we bought in back in the 2 and 10 days, so now we can enjoy the 6-7 days.
Exactly.
We was hoping for some razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle.
That's right, man, razzle-dazzle.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody rattle, dazzle.
Oh, no. Sorry.
What?
I'm just reading ahead to this dazzling donor message you're about to read, and I realize that some of our listeners might not like the direction it goes.
You mean the message from our friend and dazzling donor, Chris Stremlau?
That's the one, and I didn't mean that as no offense to Chris, of course, but there's a content request in this that I'm not sure everybody wants this content, but I'm willing to give it.
Oh, man, it's some of my favorite content to provide. Chris is our first dazzling donor we're going to thank today. Of course, this is 100% listener-supported podcasting that you're tuned into right now, and that's how we can do TBTL 5 days a week. I told you on the show yesterday that when I visited the studios of Exactly Right Media, the people that make the My Favorite Murder podcast and many other shows, I was very impressed and a bit jealous. And one thing, though, I could lord over them was how many episodes of TBTL we've done. I was telling one of their senior producers, who, by the way, was also the drummer for Luscious Jackson.
Yeah, a listener pointed that out. The person that was showing you around was it that Kate or Caitlin?
Yeah, original drummer for the Beastie Boys and also Luscious Jackson drummer.
I was a Luscious Jackson fan with that first record that came out. Yeah.
I was too. It was fun and a super nice person too, Kate, who was showing me around and taking care of us. But when I did tell them that I was like, yeah, today we did episode, 4,700 and something. All of the people I was talking to, because they make podcasts, they were shocked.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they listened to one? Do you think they listened to yesterday's? What was yesterday? Oh, yesterday's was the big, the grody thing in the. What was that?
I think it was another CBS-related email. See, Andrew, this is what I like about having these sound effects is that everyone can understand now what my life is actually like. Okay, and it's hard. It's hard out here for a multidiscipline media content creator like myself. It's just it's
emails.
Not CBS. It's
my God.
Emails left and right. Anyway, Chris is helping me pronounce his last name, but I'm wondering. I say Audi. Do you say Audi or do you say Audi? Because some people say
that's
Audi.
right. I said. Well, you would know better. You had one, and I don't. Really
know, but it doesn't mean I know how to pronounce it.
Audi.
I'm going with Ow,
Ow,
as an Audi.
Yeah, I think that's what I say.
Chris Stremlau.
Yeah, Stremlau. That's what I would say. Yep, I'm with you on that.
Okay, good. And Chris is in Kirkland, Washington, and says, "Hey, dudes, I don't have a heck of a lot to pitch this year. I usually try to throw you something that you can riff on for a while. This is what's so great about our business model is the listeners not only donate money to us, but then they also help us with the content. They are they feel responsible to give us something to riff on. Keep those needles moving, Chris writes.
Can I just say something about that really quickly? The needles moving thing. I miss needles. When he said that, I looked at my board, and I do have VU meters, but they're and I like these too, but they're a series of little green lights, and at the very top they're yellow lights and then red lights, but we don't want to get into that. I might have been in the red light district, as they say at the beginning of today's show. I hope that's clean. I hope I can clean that up. But I was listening to I think I mentioned this on the show the other day. I don't know why. I've never been a big Herbie Hancock guy, but I think I might be a Herbie Hancock guy now. And I was listening to this record yesterday called Headhunters, and it's really cool, and it shows basically like a depiction of him behind a keyboard, of course, but instead of showing his head, could you look, do you have the ability to look this up without taking the operation off the air? Look at the album cover for Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. It's as you'd expect, absolute badass album cover, but it kind of depicts his head. Instead of being a human head, it's like some sort of a metering device, it looks like. It's got a couple of knobs on it, and then one of those classic old school radio board VU meters, that means volume unit, I want to say, with the actual bouncing needle, but it's turned upside down, so it looks like a smile. You're looking at that, right?
I am. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it more closely now. Yeah, it's a very interesting kind of visual. I think I'm seeing like, I don't know if it's like the Japanese release or something. I'm trying to get eyes on this record. Yeah, I can see it. What do you think that thing is?
I am not sure. I think it might be something they made that has various like components of recording equipment, but I'm not exactly sure.
It might just be. You think those are antennae?
I don't know
top,
what
maybe?
The pinchers are on top. He looks a little alien. I can't tell if this is something that they created, just like, hey, let's put a VU meter here, let's put some knobs like eyes, or if it's actually a device. I'm guessing the first, but I could be very wrong.
Somebody on the internet is saying that it is a reference, I think, maybe to a piece of African art.
Oh, interesting. Okay, but replacing some of the components of it with stuff from the studio, because he was a big studio tinkerer.
Yeah, I'm seeing a photograph of something that looks like a kind of like indigenous art or sort of like, folk art that looks a lot like the thing that they're representing on the cover of the album, except that the Herbie Hancock one has been kind of made to be more like music studio production or something.
Which is really cool. But I was looking at that album cover yesterday, and I was looking at that meter with the actual needle in it. Like, I almost had a visceral memory of learning radio, like my first job of like and one of my first jobs was like when I finally earned let's see here, earn their respect and trust, I guess I should say, to have the job of like basically being in the studio for the late night shifts where the DJs or whatever you would call them had pre-recorded all of their sets, and then I would play them off of DAT or something like that, and then I would play the classical music that they were introducing. And I remember like whoever trained me on the board showed me like exactly where those needles need to bounce. And for those of you unlucky enough to never have run a audio board in an actual radio station, back in the day, like there was something about the way those needles moved. Like they just bounced in such a satisfying way. Like I was finding myself really missing that yesterday. Do you remember that, Luke? It was just like that sensation of the needles actually bouncing.
Yeah, I didn't run the board that much. They did not trust me or like me enough to let me do that. But I do know what you're talking about when you would see that. I mean, that's one of my early memories of working in radio is keeping the quote-unquote needles moving, as it were.
Okay. Here, I'm going to play Chris some music underneath the rest of this, since I'm on this album anyway now. Okay.
Okay, great. You know what we need some more of, says Chris. No point conversation. Give me a few spicy Mariners or Seahawks hot takes. Keep up this necessary work. Signed, Chris in Kirkland. All right. We already kind of went into
we did
Mariner talk a bit, so let's keep it to Seahawk talk, which, gotta be honest with you, it's a strange. I forget for long stretches of time that the Seahawks are the reigning world champions of football. They won the freaking Super Bowl by kind of a decent amount. Like the game wasn't really in question. Like, whereas the previous time that we won the Super Bowl against the Broncos, that season felt like we were considered one of the best teams in the league, and we had, Russell Wilson was slinging in those days, and it was just kind of like
and the
Marshawn
defense,
Lynch. Yeah, it was just like the Legion of Boom. Thank you. It was just like that was all year. I was looking forward to it, and then we got to the Super Bowl, and then we won, and it made such an impression on me, and I think I just had it in my mind and in my heart. And this one, I will just sometimes remember, like, holy shit, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. We are the Super Bowl champs right now. Like, it just snuck up on me somehow.
Yeah, I'm not. I have this thing where I don't pay attention to football during baseball season. I just I can't care even when the team is really good, and it is an interesting storyline. The one thing that I know, the one thing that I can add to the conversation is I heard a promo on And I was listening to a national broadcaster or something. I was listening to I was listening to, I think, a Royals game on Sirius Radio or something along the lines of that. And I heard a national promo for some sort of Seahawks-centered podcast hosted by Joe McHale, where he sits down with Coach
Mike McDonald.
Yeah. I actually forgot his name for a second. That's how out of football I am.
Well, there's like 7 white coaches who have a version of Mac McDonald.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
There's
so
Mike McDaniel, Mike McDonald, Matt McMichael.
How do you feel about let's talk more about, Luke, the intersection of sports and media. How do you feel about the Seahawks? I don't know if I should say having to or getting to be on Hard Knocks this upcoming season.
Well, I think under certain circumstances, I'd be very excited about it because, I just like seeing more about my team. There also does seem to be like kind of a Hard Knocks jinx. Very few teams that have been on Hard Knocks have gone on to have great seasons. I think some of that has to do with how the rules used to work. The NFL had some kind of deal with HBO about who could be or who had to be on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, it was something like if you couldn't refuse if you hadn't didn't have a winning record or something the season before, didn't make the playoffs, I think. But they also had an exception that if you had a new
the number
coach,
1 overall pick or something.
Was that it? I knew if you had a brand new coach, you also did not have to do it because teams don't want to do it usually because it's kind of a distraction.
There's kind of no upside if you're the team. It's just putting your business on blast. I mean, it might slightly, if you're a kind of a relatively obscure team, and peace and love. But if you're like the Carolina Panthers or something, and maybe even the Seahawks to a degree, if you're a team that isn't like the Patriots or the Chiefs or whoever else, if you're not one of the teams that just sort of the Cowboys, let's just say, maybe there's a slight advantage to. I don't mean on the field, but as far as the owners of the team go, maybe you don't mind selling a few more shirts, people kind of knowing a little bit more about your team if you're. Again, as obscure as any NFL team can be, but if you're kind of one of the more obscure teams. But yeah, I don't think the coaches like it. It's just more intrusion from the media. I doubt that they're going to let any game secrets out. But yeah, so I guess what I will say is I'm excited. I'll definitely watch it, that's for sure, and I'm excited to see it. But again, what is raised by Chris's email in my mind, and I guess this is my spicy take, is that there's almost and by the way, the Seahawks I think are going to be really good again. The things that this team was built on, the things that this team was built on or are built on. What's the proper word there?
The team is
our team. What we created last season to me seems theoretically reproducible because it's basically Sam Darnold game managing, and it's our defense playing really well. And I feel like we can do that again. We don't have, and we've locked Darnold in for at least a few seasons, I believe. So whereas when you win the Super Bowl and you've got a quarterback like Russell Wilson who's about to get off his rookie contract, and all of a sudden, the thing that sucks about winning the Super Bowl is many of your players are now worth more money on the open market, and you get into this thing where it's really, really hard to keep the people on the team that helped you win the Super Bowl in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't feel like from a salary standpoint, the Seahawks find themselves in that position. We had kind of we did a really, really smart thing with betting on Darnold, and most of the other, a lot of the other guys are kind of on rookie contracts still for a little bit longer and stuff. So, Nick Imanwari is just a phenomenal, but I think we probably got maybe 2 more years on his contract. So, I am excited about this.
Walker was the big loss, right?
Yeah.
The person who walked away from the team. But he also was saying, I was hearing some press conference clips of him kind of saying that he knew way earlier in the season that he was not going to be a Seahawk going forward. Oh, I'm sorry. I just had a thought pop in my head that is Mariners related I wanted to share with you, but I didn't mean to cut off football.
Well, that's
talk.
my Seahawks take. Give me your Mariners take.
Did you hear what J.P. Crawford apparently said in an interview yesterday? And I will tell you, this warmed my heart. If I sound like I'm mad at him, I'm not.
Okay, I did not hear what he said.
So listen to this. So for folks who don't know, let me give a little background on J.P. Crawford. He is a beloved Mariner, and he's been a Mariner, for how long now, Luke? Like quite a while, right? And he's like a veteran presence on the team, and he's just a very, very lovable guy. And he plays shortstop for us. And traditionally, he's been a really good shortstop, but the last couple of seasons, he's been a bit of a liability on defense. And I guess he's better at the plate, or he was better at the plate last year than I remembered. His numbers were better than I remembered. But we also have this real hot shot, now rookie, no longer prospect, but actual rookie who came up this weekend named Colt Emerson, who has traditionally played shortstop, and that is JP's position, right? And JP is on his final contract year with the Mariners. And so people like me have been sort of expecting that this is his last year as a Mariner, because he'll probably go play for some other team for his last remaining couple of years, and it'll be fine. He'll get a payday, but the Mariners are not going to invest in JP Crawford any further. It's not because we don't love him, but just because we have somebody who already plays that position. Now, this hot shot rookie who's now playing with us has been playing third base instead of shortstop because we already have JP at shortstop. And so I think most people like me have just been thinking, okay, this will be the last year. We'll have Colton at third base waiting to take his turn at shortstop when JP moves on to, I don't know, the Mets next year or something like that.
That seems like a good place.
Right? It just seemed right. So anyway, apparently, and I don't even know if somebody asked him this, Luke. I think that he might have volunteered it. J.P. Crawford apparently said, I want to be a Mariner for life. And if that means I play third base next year, I'm open to that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. From a playing perspective, I don't know if that's I don't know if I cherish the thought of seeing JP learn third base, but from a spiritual perspective, that is sweet, sweet stuff. I did not think that JP was thinking he wanted to be a Mariner for life. And when you just go and say that publicly, like that puts you on your back feet as far as negotiations are concerned. That's a hell of a thing.
I will give it to him that it is a nice thing, a nice sentiment to express, and I would be happy for him to play, I guess, continue to play as a Mariner in select scenarios. But like, no offense, he's the worst fielding shortstop in Major League Baseball.
Is that a stat right now? I mean, he's been bad. I don't know if you recall, but before the season began, you do recall because we joked around about it on the show later. But I'd sent this long text to the thread saying like, what are the odds that JP even is still with us by the end of the season if we have Colt Emerson coming up? And that was also the one where Stubot weighed in on, I believe the Silver Jews record, American Water. But anyway, he was a liability last year. He was bad, and he has not been especially good this year either.
So it's like on the one hand, it is a nice sentiment for him to be like, I want to retire a Mariner. I'm willing to play center field if they need me to. But it's like, dude, you're not good at playing shortstop, so I don't think we need you at third base. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to like rain on the parade here, because it is nice to hear that JP loves it here and wants to, finish out his days. And again, if there's a way for that to happen that's helpful for the Mariners and JP, I think that would be awesome. And the thing that JP Crawford always does is, when I'm the most down on him is when he decides to hit a walk-off home run. He somehow senses when I'm being especially cruel in the comment section of the Criminals, and then chooses to, in that moment, exceed my expectations. So maybe he'll continue to do that. I like the guy, and I like that and I think what you said that's the most compelling to me is, you're right, he's undermining any negotiating position he would have with the Mariners. But that's because he wants to be a Mariner. So I like that a lot. I do think that that's a nice thing to hear. I just wish he would be a little better at defense. The reason that he's better at the plate than you think is because his on-base percentage is weirdly high, because he is very smart about getting walks.
He is so good at the plate. He's so patient, man.
But he also strikes out a lot. I mean, that's the problem. I feel like he's like the reason that his at bats are kind of confusing and misleading is because I feel like he's always striking out, and I'm like, JP. But then when he's doing a good thing, it's mostly he's just walking, and then 4 batters later he comes in to score. So it's this kind of subtle sort of thing that's happening. He's not like hitting home runs or striking out. So I'm not noticing the good stuff he's doing, because it's a walk, which doesn't light up the scoreboard for me. But yeah, his on-base percentage is good. So
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's actually not even. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's 358. That's pretty good on OPS. It's not real. Like that's not what is
what's
it?
But Randy's is like 800.
I think that's on base plus slugging for Randy,
okay.
right? I think that's why I get a little bit confused about these numbers. I'm not a great stats guy, so I'm often doing this. What is and you know what? The important thing is we are absolutely super
delivering on Chris's request.
Yeah. So what is a good on base percentage? And a good one is generally anything above 340, and so he's just slightly above 340. So
he's got a good on base percentage.
For him.
So yes, and Chris, you're welcome. Thank you for the donation, Maestro.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody rattle, daddle.
Oh, look who it is! It's our pals from Port Townsend, Washington, Peter and Sherry Cobb.
Oh, nice. Hey, guys.
Now, if I start getting the next door updates from Port Townsend, we'll really know something is up, because I don't think it had even been invented when I lived in Port Townsend. This is Sherry writing on behalf of myself and my husband and fellow 10 Peter. I listen from Port Townsend, and he listens while making 11-year-old mac and cheese in Shoreline.
Oh, that's right. We got an email about the I think it was a voice memo about the really old mac and cheese. Yeah.
Because I think I was going off about my parents and their beef stroganoff that they were transporting across various state lines and not refrigerating, etc. Maybe that was when that came up. He works for a large utility near SARS.
Oh, I know that utility. I walk by it all the time. It's across the street from an apple tree.
So he commutes to Port Townsend weekly. In early 2014, we began our busy cross-Puget Sound life. I lived in Northeast Seattle for 3+ decades. Peter was in Portland when we met, and I used to have my studio in Ballard. So you cover all our locations. It's delightful. Yeah, that's right. Between where you live, Andrew, and where you travel to in your life and where I have lived and go to, we've got Peter and Sherry's entire sort of like Northwest map covered.
Nice.
Our TBTL story began in the old days of Peter cooking dinner in our cozy Ravenna kitchen.
Hey.
Our 2 dogs underfoot.
The Ravenna,
I'd hang out in the
Ravenna
doorway.
area sort of checks a box for me, too. I consider like the
Absolutely.
Roosevelt Ravenna area.
That's where you do your
stomping
pop-up.
ground. Yeah.
I'd hang out in the doorway, laughing and asking questions about the radio show playing in the background. I don't recall the exact moment I was hooked on TBTL, but it was my first ever podcast. In the early days, we were just listeners. When our Port Townsend move coincided with Luke's, we kept a low profile. It's a small town, so our paths crossed in the co-op and around town. I don't know if I knew this. I do remember meeting Peter and Sherry, I think at an event maybe for the film festival, but I did not realize, or I've forgotten maybe if I was being clocked at the co-op or other such places. This was before the see something, say something, so we respected your privacy. Then we joined the Stens page, forging a deeper connection with the 2019's Thing Festival and the Boat Show. We were all in on the TBTL community. Those events and the 4,000th episode are personal highlights, and we hope to attend others and get to know more tens. Well, without giving too much away, let's just say, Sherry, there will be something going on for the 5,000th. We haven't exactly figured it out, but we know there's going to be a get-together component. So we've all just got to make it for another year? Almost exactly a year, right? I think we were talking in our meeting.
It's going to be June or July hopefully we'll maybe do some things before then, but it's unclear for what we're going to have the ability to do that. But we're definitely, here are the things we know. We're definitely doing something for 5,000, and it's definitely clothing optional. Those are the only 2 things we know so far.
Except not for you. Yours is clothing mandatory.
I'm opting. Don't worry, I'm opting into the clothing.
Okay, good. We are fortunate that our lives are intertwined with TBTL. You bring us laughter and tears when we face tough times. It's this show and the community of tens that comfort to have this safe space through authoritarianism and a pandemic has been priceless. What you do is so important. You dazzle, so we dazzle.
Oh, jeez.
Power out. That's coming from our friends, listeners, Sherry and Peter out there in Port Townsend, Washington. Well, thank you so much, COP family, for following us all these years and for donating to the show and being awesome and for respecting the rules of if you see something, say something. So if I ever see me wandering around Port Townsend, please come up and say hi.
And also, you know what? I don't think there's any reason for me to keep my powder dry here. Happy birthday, Peter. We'll get more on that later in the Blur's Day segment, but happy damn birthday. What a great coincidence for your dazzling donor message to come up today.
That was all part of the plan. John and I worked hard on that when we decided which dazzling donors to send you today, Andrew. We said we're going to make sure.
That.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be funny, I have been sending you drops. Maybe you should start sending me the Blur's Days and the dazzling donor messages. Maybe we should do everything topsy-turvy.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm in for that. Anyway, thanks again, Peter and Sherry. We couldn't do this without you.
There's a right way to rock and a wrong way to roll. You can just listen to your soul. Just remember that life is number one. You can be having so much fun. Just remember that life is much fun. You can be number one.
All right, Luke, I am going to do something here against the grain and without your permission. But before we get into the Blur's Days, because we don't have too many Blur's Days, I'm going to try to read, or at least read you some highlights from an amazing email that we got yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw this or not, but did you see an email with the subject line, Confessions of a Meta Marketplace Shopper?
Yes.
This is
an incredible
incredible
message. I thought we were going to read it tomorrow.
Do you want to actually save it for tomorrow?
Yes, because I think it's so well put.
Okay.
And so describes. Well, I mean, I just don't want it. I don't want it necessarily to be rushed, because I do think it's.
It is
it's
really interesting.
I think it will
email.
also spur me on to talking a lot, because I felt very. I don't know if seen is the right word, but I could totally identify with the way this person was describing their experience.
Okay. Well, we will get to that then tomorrow.
Okay. Good. By the way, because my sound box, I think I must have left it on, and maybe here's what I think was happening. Because this is the one that a listener modified for me, Andrew, so that I could turn it on and off.
Mm-hmm.
I must have accidentally left it in the on position, and listen to that. That's as much as the whistle as I can play.
It's no good.
I think I left it in the on position, and then it was getting leaned on in my bag and probably just endlessly playing like a clapping sound effect
I hope
or something.
somebody could hear it.
And I think it drained the battery. So the only excited sound I can make for anybody is,
okay,
because I brought this physical horn.
And you can also use your mouth if you want to make sound effects with your mouth. Don't use words, though. Can you give me some sort of a bird? It's like some sort of a tropical bird.
A tropical bird. It's a living.
Perfect.
It's a bird from the Flintstones.
Like it. April in the Arby's district of Edmond says, Happy Blur's Day to my 5, Zoe, who is turning 15.
Cute.
I'm so incredibly proud of you and can't wait to celebrate with tacos and mango cake. They make mango cake? I want some mango cake. I've never had that before. That sounds amazing.
It's mango flavored, or it has chunks of mango in it. I don't know.
Well, I have an idea of what it might be like, but I could be wrong, so I won't share my thoughts now. But it sounds amazing. April says, you're the best, and I'm so lucky to be your mom. So that's for Zoe. And then number 2, April says, I want to wish myself a happy 40th Blur's Day. Hard to believe I've been listening since my 34th Blur's. Oh, only 6 years. You're a TBTL newbie. And
welcome,
dear friend. Happy Blur's Day, April, and happy Blur's Day, Zoe. Happy birthday to Tevrin. This is a big one. They turn 18 years old on Saturday and graduate high school in a few weeks, too. Since they listen to TBTL independently sometimes, Tevrin is also graduating from a 5 to a 10. Oh, this is huge. This is more of a graduation ceremony. Welcome to the fold, Tevrin. All I can say is a hearty jalapeno. Congratulations, Tev. I love you, Mom. Avalon says, I'd like to wish a very happy Blur's Day to my little sister, Roslyn. You are my best friend and worst enemy. No, that's not true. It says, you are my best friend and the other half of our shared sister hive mind. I'm so proud of you for taking over lunch orders at work, thus ensuring every minority restaurant in town is getting extra business from the corporate world. You see what's going on there? So Avalon is taking, wherever Avalon works, they're taking orders You know, like, hey, I'm ordering lunch today. What do you guys want? And then making sure to order that food from minority-owned businesses, which is pretty great. Let's see here. I'm sorry. I gave that credit to Avalon. It's Avalon shouting out Rosalind. It's Rosalind who's doing that, yeah.
But we used to have a listener, Avalon, in Scotland. Do we have 2 listeners named Avalon? Or I wonder if this is our friend Avalon who's in Scotland, or maybe Avalon has come back from Scotland. I don't know.
Maybe Avalon is all over. Where's Avalon? I love that. I love that. Is it a book?
Maybe the David Gray song Avalon is about listener Avalon.
I have always
that's Babylon.
Avalon. But mostly I'm proud of you for the smart, funny, vicarious. Nope, sorry. I am mostly proud of you for the smart, funny, vivacious person you are. I can't wait for our future sister trips and many happy returns of the day, hermana. Nice. Happy birthday, Rosalind. Sorry I confused your names there for a second. I mean, Avalon could be sending this Blur's Day wish, from across the pond, right?
Sure, they've got email over there.
They do. Just got it. Rosemary says, happy 62nd birthday to me. Seems weird to wish myself a happy birthday, but what the heck? Happy me day. Also, Luke, I reached out to you last year to give you my ticket to Glengarry Glen Ross. It was my first trip to NYC, and I ended up getting very sick, and I couldn't go. But before you could get back to me, my stupid little brother found someone else to take. I felt really bad about it, but I also had tickets to see Othello, which I missed as well. I'll get back there one day.
That was so sweet. Yeah, I was talking about how I really wanted to see that production of Glengarry Glen Ross, but it was massively sold out. But then by the time I responded, their little brother had snatched it, but that felt better, or had given away the spot. That's like, let's keep it in the family. These are like $100, hundreds of dollars in tickets, and I'd rather not. As somebody who's already benefiting from the charity of the listeners in a major way, I don't need to also get free tickets for them. Although it was a very, very kind offer.
Now look at this. Sherry in Port Townsend. Here writing to wish my husband Peter a happy 63rd Blur's Day. I honored his excellent care of our backyard birds with a gift inspired by TBTL and Genevieve, the board game Wingspan, a.k.a. Birds Actually. My first online estate auction purchase. I hope it motivates us to slow down a bit. Love you, sweetie. What you do is so important. Happy birthday, Peter.
Cute.
Thank you guys again. And finally, Tara says, happy Golden Blur's Day to Doug, someone who will always put his friends and family before himself. I'm so thankful to call you my friend. Love, Tara. Or Tara. T-A-R-A. How are you handling that? Tara or Tara?
I'm going Tara.
I think Tara is probably more common, but Tara is out there. Anyway, happy Blur's Day to Doug. Oh, sorry.
Absolutely.
Doug. Do you go Doug or Doug?
I go Doug.
Okay, I'm sorry. Happy birthday to Doug.
That's what I grew up with.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's probably
I say
thing.
What's up, Doug?
That's right. You did grow up with that. You absolutely did.
I did. All right. We didn't get to Cars for Kids today, but that's fine. We can talk about it tomorrow, probably. We got to wrap things up for today's episode, but yes, we will be back here with more Imaginary Radio for all of you in just about 24 hours. So please do join us for that. In the meantime, everybody out there, have a great Thursday. Take care of yourselves. Go enjoy your off day, Seattle Mariners. And please remember, no mountain too tall. No, what?
Mm-hmm.
And please remember, no mountain too tall.
I'm going to go home and study those lyrics.
But I can. But I can.
You got this.
No mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.